Up above my head, there's music in the air. Up above my head, there's music in the air. Up above my head, there's music in the air. There must be a God somewhere. Well, I'll tell you, one day, Miss Nauer sent me into the parlor to dust, and I run across this here family Bible that was the Nauers. Now, my name is Mary Kercheval, and I was born in Western Missouri, which was just across the bay from Leavenworth, Kansas. Now, Western Missouri, Lord have mercy, it was a big town, big for them days. Now, Master Ben Thompson, well, he done sold his property, which included me and my children, to the Nauer family. And when I was looking around and I done seen this here Nauer family Bible, I could not believe my eyes. It had all of my children and my names and the rest of the family's chattel property written down in this here Bible. You know, I sang that song because I know the Lord did not want me and my family to be owned like some kind of cows or horses or chickens. But there we was, all our names written down in that family Bible. Well, it started out with Levi, and he was born October the 11th in 1852. And then there was Benjamin. He was born October 8th in 1853. And then my first girl was Elvira, and she was born October 14th, 1854. There was this huge fire that upset all of Western and probably most of Missouri and Kansas as well in 1855 and stopped all of my birthing in October. My next baby was Luann, and I call her my Christmas present because she was born December 23rd, 1856. Now, I think that was when the Nauer family acquired their properties. Then Samuel, now he was a Kercheval baby. All the rest of them, well, they were Simpsons. My boy Samuel, well, he was born July 5th, 1858. And then there was my girl Belle. She was born September 10th, 1860. And I call my boy Charlie my freedom baby, because he was born January 5th, 1863, the same year and the same month that President Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation that made us free. Well, it did not make the Missouri slaves free, because we did not get our freedom until after the war and the 13th Amendment. No more auction block for me. No more, no more, no more auction block for me. Many thousands gone. No more master's lash for him. No more, no more, no more master's lash for her. Many thousands gone. Sometimes if you listen real close, you could hear all of them soldiers singing. No more peck of corn for me. No more, no more, no more peck of corn for me. Many thousands gone. Well, that was the war to free the slaves. And that was our freedom. We didn't know what we was going to do, but we knowed we was free. Then, my girl, Elvira and Luann, well, they got married and they stayed in Kansas. And my boys, well, they had the wanderlust. They wanted to see what was west. I don't know who that man was, but they said, go west, young man, go west. So Samuel, now he's the oldest Kercheval boy, he was the first one to go west. And you know, they found gold in the Black Hills in 1876, and that's when Samuel got there. A few months later, my boys Levi and Benjamin, well, they joined their brothers up on Centennial Prairie. Now, they was all laborers and farmers, and they know how to work the land. Now, Samuel, he was a bullwhacker for a time, and he would sell products in Deadwood while he still worked on his land up here on Centennial Prairie. Now, before I come up here, my boys, they got themselves into some trouble. Levi, well, he was accused of assault with the intent to kill. Well, when the story come down, Levi told the judge that all he wanted to do was protect this white woman from this old white man's unwanted advances. And he did readily admit that he did assault the man, and he pled guilty. Well, the sheriff found out about all of this, and he said that I should plead not guilty. Well, I think my son Levi decided not to plead guilty, and they put it up for court several times, and it never did make it to the court. Now, this same here man, his name was Mr. Dunfree, he done tried to take Benjamin's and Levi's land. And my children, well, they did not want that man to take their land. I mean, they worked hard, and it was theirs. So my son Levi took Mr. Dunfree to court. And when they told the stories, Mr. Dunfree's was quite different than Levi's. But the judge believed Levi's story because Mr. Dunfree's just didn't hold water. And I always taught my children, ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free, And do you know what? Levi won his case. Well, my boy Charlie and I, we come out here in 1883. And we got property that Samuel had paid $350 for. Now, I had a house that I bought with my sisters and a close family friend in Leavenworth. Why, it was right on the trolley line, and we all could get good work. Now, that was when I was working for General Custer. This here summer, me and Charlie, we was working with General Custer. Well, I worked mostly for Miss Libby, but Charlie, he tended the General's horses. Now, he made some extra money on the side. All of them their officers would give love notes to Charlie to take to their beaux. And do you realize that Charlie would get 25 cents for every love note that he took to them young ladies? Well, Charlie made 25 cents from the young ladies when he took their answers back to their beaux. Lord have mercy, I think Charlie must have made more money than I did that entire summer. Now, when General Custer got an assignment to go fight the Ku Klux Klan, well, I terminated my employment with him, and I decided to work for another family in Leavenworth. Well, I knowed about the Ku Klux Klan that General Custer had to fight for in Kentucky, and I didn't want to have no more to do with them there cluckers. Nobody knows the trouble I see. Nobody knows my sorrow. Nobody knows the trouble I see. Glory, hallelujah. Well, you know, the Lord likes to play tricks on you sometimes. And when I terminated my employment with General Custer, he decided he wanted to let me know that I was not finished with them Ku Klux Klan. They trying to bring back the Ku Klux Klan, even right here on Centennial Prairie. Yes, they is. And that's why I say the Lord likes to play jokes on you sometimes. Well, I don't want to talk about that because I done got my freedom. All my children is free, and all they children is free as well. Now, probably the most proudest time that I ever done experienced was one time they were celebrating Emancipation Day. Now, we always celebrated, ever since we left Kansas, we would always celebrate Emancipation Day. And this here one time, usually the 25th Cavalry, well, they would march through all of the Black Hills, yes they would, and we would have picnics and families together. And this one time, the 25th Cavalry wasn't going to be participating. So my son, Benjamin, he got all of the plans together. And we was there and we were celebrating. We had enough lemonade to feed a whole army. And I was so proud because my son, Benjamin, got his brother, Samuel, to read the Emancipation Proclamation. Now, I know they did it all through the hills, But for a mother to see her own son talk about freedom, well, I tell you, that was the proudest moment of my entire life. Yes, it was. Now, in 1887, I had accumulated quite a little property right here with my sons, Benjamin and Levi. And I decided, since they were so kind to me, that I would just stay here with my family. So I went back to Leavenworth and I sold my interest in the property, and I come on back here and I bought my own ranch for $150. And do you realize that it only took me 10 months to prove it up? And I got a patent for my property signed by the president, Benjamin Harrison. Only cost me $150. When I had my property proved up in 1892, all of my children was here except for Luann and Elvira. They were still in Kansas with their families. But had it been Emancipation Day in 1892, right here on my property, here in Centennial Prairie, I could have had a picnic with all of my children and their children's. And Lord have mercy, it would have been a wonderful day. Nobody knows the trouble I see. Nobody knows my sorrow. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Glory, hallelujah. Well, here I am in the twilight of my life, living the life of Riley. Sometimes I stay with my daughter Belle and her family. They lives up in Lead, and she's a Curry. And then sometimes I come over here and I stay with my son Samuel. And I just adore all of my grandchildren. Now, I'm going to tell you one thing. I just love to sit on my porch and rock in my chair. And I think it's time for Mabel to come over here and help me make these here biscuits. Nobody knows the trouble I see. Mabel? Mabel?